And just so everyone's aware, today's meeting is not for PDR credit, so you do not need to put your PDR numbers in the chat box. This is just a meeting. It is not a full training, so you don't need to put your PDR number in there. Um, However, I did put my contact information, and Michelle Davis has put her contact information in the chat box as well. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Just want to make sure, can everyone see the screen okay that says Arkansas Better Chance Provider Call? Okay, perfect. So we're really excited today. We are going to talk about a few different things, mainly the COPA renewal application, and we are also going to talk about some legislative changes with ABC. So if at any time you have questions, pop them in the chat box. We are going to try to really go through and answer any questions that we think that you may have. But you can always pop them in the chat box. And of course, like I said, my email is at the very top, and Michelle Davis, her email is in there as well. And then I will make sure the rest of my team puts their email in, and we will also put in our COPA support mailbox as well. That way you can send any of us any questions that you may have. So again, we are recording today's session so that we can put it on our website for future use, so that you can go back and watch this, or for any of our providers that are not able to be on the call today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I have our contact information for the Office of Early Childhood staff here on the screen. You are more than welcome to reach out to any of us with questions that you may have. I do just want to point out, we had a couple of programs submitting some audits and some other things to Heather Barrick. She does not work with the Office of Early Childhood. So if you have audits or any type of financial documents, please submit those to our COPA support mailbox. You can also send those directly to Miss Nancy Pearlstein. And again, we'll make sure that the information is in the chat box. Okay. So the first thing on our agenda today, I sent you all an email reminder with the agenda, but the first thing that we're going to talk about are some changes with ABCSS. So we've been waiting to open the COPA renewal application because there were some changes that we did need to make. And so we're going to go through and just clarify these changes and what it means for you as a program. So there was a House bill introduced. It's if you're interested in looking it up, it's House Bill 1733. Now that that has passed and it has been signed by the governor, it created Act 504. So what does this mean? Basically, there was legislative change that created a one amendment that takes away or really adds ABCSS funding to the original ABC criteria. And to really just simplify what the bill says, this just means that you may now serve children birth to 5 if you receive ABC funding at all. So if you currently as a provider receive ABCSS, where you can only serve 3 and 4-year-olds, you now may serve children birth to 5. So you can use your ABC funds to serve infants and toddlers if you would like. You'll use the same eligibility criteria that is found currently under Section 6 in our ABC program guide. And so that still is the family gross income not exceeding the 200% of the federal poverty level. And then you have the other sections such as parents without a high school diploma, low birth weight, if the child is income eligible for Title I, limited English proficiency. So there are several different eligibility criteria that are under the original ABC funding. Most of our programs are under ABCSS, unless you've got that original money. So you were only able to serve children that were 3 and 4, and you weren't able to use all of the eligibility criteria. So this is just combining those two, and you will now be able to serve birth to 5 and use all of the eligibility criteria that are under Section 6. So the best way to think about it is we are combining old money, new money. There won't be a separation. When you fill out your COPA renewal, you are going to notice that there is a change. There is no longer a spot for ABCSS. It is only ABC. Everyone is going to have the same criteria. So the other additional qualifiers, we know that there are still some, we know that there are some income exceptions. And so some of those are things like a child that is in the foster system at the time of enrollment. You will still be using those income exceptions. There's no change in that currently. So this is really exciting for our programs. We know that this is going to open up your availability to serve more children. We know that this could potentially help many of you that may not be meeting enrollment currently. This is an opportunity for you to open maybe an infant classroom or toddler classroom that you weren't able to before. So I just want to clarify that we have no change in funding. There is no change in the amount of slots. It is just simply that we are merging ABC and ABCSS. I saw a question about the slides. Yes, so the slides and the recording will be posted on our website for everyone to go back and review. So I want to talk a little bit to our home visiting providers that are on the call, and just kind of explain what maybe it looks like for you. So there is no additional changes in the eligibility requirements for home visiting, but if you are a home visiting provider and you have ABCSS and you want to utilize parents as teachers instead of just HIPPY, you'll now be able to do that. And so, again, this is going to open up a lot of programs for additional opportunities if you wish to serve infants and toddlers. There are going to be probably a lot of changes that you would want to look at financially, of course. And this is not a requirement. You do not have to serve infants or toddlers. If you want to continue serving 3 and 4-year-olds, that is perfectly fine. However, you will now have the opportunity to do so. Okay, so I'm just going to look really quickly before we talk about the grant opening in the chat box to see if there's any questions we need to talk about. Yes. Will it have the same funding for the whole classroom? Yes, so there is no change in funding at all. Let's see here. I'm just looking to see. I see a lot of people putting their names in. Just to clarify, this is not for PDR credit. You do not need to put your information in the chat, guys.
Protein in it. But I don't know.
And if you have questions, please put them in the chat so we can make sure we get them. So if you have specific questions about qualifications or staff requirements, we do have all of that information in our program guide. It's on our website. You can go there and look at the program guide to look at ratios for infants and toddlers, classroom capacity. None of that will change. So you can look at those and you can look at all of the eligibility section for regular ABC. And Miracle, will you link to our website where the program guide is, just so that that's easy to access on the chat? Oh, so Whitley, yeah, I mean, if you're just wanting to use a couple of those slots, you can use your slots exactly how you want, whatever makes sense for your program. As long as you don't exceed the ratios for ABC or your capacity for licensing, or your classroom capacity for ABC, as long as you're not exceeding that, you can use those slots how you want. So I have a question about voucher waiting list. This is strictly for ABC. So right now we do not have any applications open for additional slots. You would want to work with your local lead and make sure that's on the coordinated funding request. And also make sure that you're letting them know that you're available and that you can serve additional children. And again, if you have specific questions, please, you can email us if it's something specific about your program. But yes, all slots will be listed as ABC, Michelle. That is correct. Hours per day. Yep, nothing else is changing. So it's still 7 hours a day for ABC. And if you have a specific question, feel free to email me, let me know. Um, I see a question about dual. I think Michelle was answering some of those questions. I'm going to let her answer it. I'm going to move on a little bit to the grant renewal. I think this will answer probably a lot of other questions that you may have. So after we get off the call today, we are going to be sending out emails with your instructions on logging in and updating your grant renewal in COPA. So we will unlock that and you will be able to go in and make those updates. Um, Give me 1 second. Let me just see. It looks like we're waiting. It looks like there's some other people trying to get in. Give me 1 second. Michelle, will it let you see any other participants for some
I
reason?
only see one waiting.
Okay. I think we've got everybody. Okay, so additional instructions are going to be sent on exactly how to update your COPA application. So it's going to tell you exactly what information is required. So all of your contact information, there's going to be several different sections. It's going to walk you exactly through the process. So there's a couple of things that you are going to receive. You're going to receive a notice of award. We have already gotten approval for the award amount for this year, and you're going to receive your grant agreement. Both of these are going to be there's the notice of award you won't need to sign. It's just going to be from us. The grant agreement, you will be able to fill in your information and you will be able to upload that and you will be able to sign it and send it in to us. Again, all of this instructions will be sent to your email. We do have some finance budget templates that we'll send out if you choose to use those, but you will update most of your budget in COPA itself. So I just want to show you what the notice of award looks like. You can keep an eye on your email. Really, it's just going to tell you the number of slots that you've been awarded and your funding amount. A lot of you already know that we've taken this to the board. It's already been approved for this next school year. So you're not really in a time crunch of having to wait on us to tell you that information. You can go ahead and get started on your planning for next school year. So the deadline is going to be May 16th. Again, this will be in the instructions that you receive in your email. The deadline will be there as well. So we are asking that you get all of this completed in COPA by May 16th. I'm going to go to the chat box. and just look and see. We qualify children using the old money. Yes, so you will be able to qualify children using what the ABC current standards are. And you can find those in the current program guide. We are going to be making updates to that guide. We also will be rewriting and updating the rules governing Arkansas Better Chance. So over the next school year, there will be new rules coming out. There will be new guides to assist you. But as of now, none of those requirements or eligibility sections have changed. Okay. Gonna scroll up and just see. August 1 date for the 3-year-old is no longer a factor. Krista, correct. Yes. So the August 1 date, that was a requirement under ABCSS. So you're not going to have to worry about that. You can serve birth to 5. When you enroll that child, you can enroll that child until they are ready for kindergarten. Reimbursement rate. So no, nothing is changing with your funding amount. And so, again, I see some questions about like staff criteria and ratios. You can find that in the program guide. The current program guide has all of that information. And I do believe it's already been dropped into the chat box. We'll make sure that's put in there again. If you go to the ABC website, it is on the right-hand side. It's the 20, I think right now it says 24-25 program guide. So Lisa, no, it'll just be, she asked about ABCSS only being good for 2 years. No, it will be good birth to 5. You can enroll if they are 2, and they can stay in your program until kindergarten. Yep. And Miss Miracle just put in that program guide link. So if you need it, look at the chat box, and you can see the link directly to our program guide. Okay, we're gonna go over some questions and answers one more time. I think a lot of these we've already discussed, but does this change the funding award amount per child? No. Unfortunately, it does not change your amount. Are we getting any additional slots? No, there are no additional slots. This is just simply changing and merging ABC and ABCSS. Do you have to serve infants and toddlers? No. You have the ability to, like I said, if you want to continue to serve 3 and 4-year-olds only with your ABCSS like you've been doing, that is fine. So when does this go into effect? For the 25-26 school year. And again, our team is going to be putting out updating program guides. And then we also are in the process of updating our rules governing the Arkansas Better Chance program. So there will be more guidance for the coming school year. I know lots of you are doing recruitment now, though. So we wanted to make sure that you knew you would be able to fill those infants and toddler spots and you would be able to use the ABC criteria. And then, so when does the COPA grant application open? We talked a little bit about that just a second ago. After today's call, we are going to send you all instructions. Keep an eye on your inbox. So we're going to send you those instructions. It's going to walk you through each section of COPA. And again, you will notice there's no longer a different section for ABC and ABCSS. You are strictly going to just have ABC slots. I see a question. Is there any consideration for following the public school calendar if you were on campus? I'm not sure what you mean by following the public school calendar. You can follow your public school calendar, but if you go less than 178 days, you won't be paid the full grant amount.
Something that we run into at the school district that I'm at is that once school lets out, we don't have any students return.
You mean once school lets out
So
at the
our
end of
school
May?
lets out on May the 16th, but we will go to get our 178 days until June, I believe it's 5th or 6th.
Mhm.
But I won't have any students after May 16th because they all go home.
So, is your enrollment full right now currently?
It is.
Okay. I mean, that is that's a decision for the families to make if they want to utilize your service, but currently there's no change in the rule for meeting 7 hours a day and 178 days a year. Now, if you chose to go less than that, you could, it would just be a prorated amount based on the days.
Okay. Thank you.
So there's no talk at the state level about the alternative calendars because like some schools go, like our school goes 45 minutes longer a day. And so our preschoolers stay 45 minutes a day, but we're adhering to the 178. So we're exceeding more than the ABC requirement.
So no, I mean, currently I'm not aware that there's any changes. There has been no legislative changes this year. Their session is over, so there won't be any changes to those rules. But if there is, we will definitely let you know. So I saw a question, the rule for dual children, will all the qualifiers be able to be used for dual for the ones in the second that we need? So there should be no change. I think I saw your other question about dual. There should be no change in dual enrollment, but if you will just send me an email and we can talk about that. We can look at it to make sure your eligibility will not change, but there should be no change for your home visitors that are dual enrolled for your kiddos. So again, I just want to reiterate that you are just simply going to be able to serve infants and toddlers in addition with 3 and 4-year-olds as normal. And you will be able to use the ABC criteria that is found. It is under section 6 in the program guide. It starts there. And you will be receiving your instructions for the COPA enrollment. And yes, Tanya, there is a place there to put the number of days. So you'll put the number of days. So if you're a school district and you're planning on going 170 days instead of 178, you can put that information in there and then we will adjust your payment from there for the year. Yep. Yes. So right now, no, we don't have an option to go for minutes.
Hey, Kayla, there's a question in the chat box. A couple of people have asked since they may have not have taken infants or toddlers before. With our pre-K, we were able to enroll them their first year as a 3-year-old and then not approve them for 4. So how does that work for infants? They're asking, are they able to qualify as an infant and then not recertify again until they're out of our program?
Right. So once they're in the ABC program, unless there is a change in the rule before, it would be before next school year, we are not going to require you to do like a re-qualification.
Thank you.
And so we will be putting out new rules. We will be putting out program guides. We will make sure that you are aware of when those are posted and when those are written, if there is any change. But right now, this is really just so that you are aware of what's coming for next year. And for any of you that are interested in infants and toddlers and you are interested in opening up those classrooms, you'll know that you have the opportunity to do so. Okay, I wanted to move on and just remind everyone about work sampling finalization. It is due on May 2nd. I believe most of you probably have received an email from your coach, or you might have received a reminder from someone else over at the A-State team. But just wanted to throw this out here that it is May 2nd, so please make sure you're getting your work sampling finalized. And then briefly, we just wanted to talk about pre-rollover in COPA. So you all are going to be going in and updating your grant information, but just keep an eye out for an email. We're going to be sending you some pre-rollover to do before you get out of school for the end of the year for those of you who don't do summer ABC. We want to make sure that everyone has access. So if you do not currently have admin access and you will be performing rollover for your program, please make sure you log in, make sure you check that you have access. And if you need admin access, please email us at our COPA support .mail account email address so we can make sure that we've got your access ready to go and you don't have to wait on that. Okay, so our next ABC provider call is going to be May 20th. And we will have some information about our summer training that we're going to be doing in June on that May call. So we'll have that information coming out. But again, I always invite you to enter any information into the topic survey that we have if there's anything you want us to talk about. And I just am going to take some time and go back through the chat box to see if there's any additional questions. But I do want to encourage you, if you have a specific question about eligibility or something specific about your program, feel free to email us. We will help work you through that. And this is, of course, a change that's going to affect any of our programs that choose to partake. And so it is something that just happened. That's why I said we're going to be putting out program guides. We don't have that ready just yet, but that will help you as well. Let's see. I'm going to go back up here and just see if there's any questions. So it does not change your days. A full day is 7 hours. I think Michelle already answered that question, but yes, you are still required to go 7 days. None of that is changing. There is no change in funding. There is no change in the ratios. All of that will stay the same. You can find that in your program guide. Okay, let me go up and see if we've missed anything. I'm going to go back just for a second to our COPA, the grant renewal. So May 16th, your grant renewal needs to be completed in COPA. And the instructions are going to be emailed out to programs. So keep an eye out for that in your email. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Those instructions are going to walk you through exactly everything that you need to do. It's also going to walk you through any documents that you need to upload. Most of you know, you'll have to upload your calendar for the next school year, your parent handbook, and all of those things. Clarification, HIPPY programs. So yes, Wanda, if you have home visiting programs and you currently right now are ABCSS and you're only taking part in HIPPY, and you would like to serve infants and toddlers, you would like to serve other age groups, and you want to take on the PAT, Parents as Teachers program, you can do that under this change. And you can email me if we need to talk about what that looks like for you. If you have any specific questions, just reach out and let me know. I hope that I am not missing anyone. Yes, Amy, that we are really hoping that this is going to help serve so many more children. We really hope that it's going to help with enrollment.
Must have had a lot.
Let's see here. So yes, we are recording today's call. We will get that uploaded. Hopefully it will be uploaded this week. It just depends on how quickly our communications team can get that uploaded. So just keep an eye out. I did see the question about curriculum. So we do have the interim list on our website, and they are still reviewing, like Michelle said. They will still be reviewing into the 26-27 year, because you do have until 26-27 to actually update your curriculum. Okay, I'm going to scroll back down. So if you've already started enrolling and accepting applications, you can continue on with your enrollment. You don't need to change anything if you are not wanting to. If you're wanting to move to accepting infants and toddlers, you would just want to add that enrollment. But if you have already accepted those families, I mean, that is going to be a business decision on your timeline. You do have until, August until the next program year. But you don't need to redo your applications, not for us. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put my email again in the chat box. That way, if you have any specific questions, you can reach out to me. We can take a look at it together and make sure that we get you an answer if there's anything specific for your program. So Lindsay, could infant and toddler rooms serve non-ABC students well? Yeah, so none of that changes. If you have a classroom where you have multiple funding sources, that's perfectly fine. You could have a classroom where you have, a couple of infants that are private pay, and maybe one of those is an ABC slot, and that's perfectly fine. You just have to always make sure that you're following ABC ratios and standards for the whole classroom. How do you document additional qualifiers? So there is an appendix section in the program guide that actually shows you on the ABC qualifiers what documents are acceptable. So for example, if you have a family that's over income, but the child is in foster care at that time, there are acceptable documents that you can have on file showing that that child is a foster child. And so we have a list of those documents, and they're in the appendix of the program guide. And if you get stuck and you're not sure when you're getting ready to qualify a child and you're not seeing it on that list, absolutely send us an email, reach out, and we will help you walk through that. Katie, will home visiting be able to enroll children as soon as they turn 2, or do they have to be 2 by 8-1? Oh, hold on. I think I lost the rest of the chat. Hold on a second here. Well, Michelle, I can't see the chat box. There was a question about home visiting about turning 2. Will you see if you can look for that?
Hey, a bunch of us hippie girls were asking that because they used to have to be two by August the 1st. So we were clarifying as long as we can enroll them as soon as they turn two now.
Oh, yes. Okay. So as of right now, you would be able to enroll that child immediately because you're going to be able to serve birth to 5. So you would not need to wait for that date. Now, like I said, the program guide has not been updated to reflect that. So we will be updating that guide and the rules to put out for you. But as of right now, yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, let's see. I just saw a question about the audit. Ms. Shirley Simmons, so with the audit, there hasn't been necessarily a change. There are the requirements that are set by the finance with ADE, and that's that $750,000 threshold total. If you have any specific questions on the audit requirements, please feel free to send me an email.
I have a question. If I want to apply for more slots since this has been changed, what's the deadline to get that in?
So we would not be reissuing any additional slots for the 25-26 school year, but you would want to make sure that your local lead is aware. That coordinated funding request with your local lead is where you would put in that you would like to request additional slots for the 26-27 school year. On your COPA application, there is also a spot for you to list if you have availability, if you have room for additional, and you can list that there. But this school year has already been approved by the State Board of Education, so we won't be giving any additional slots. Yes, Angela, this is really exciting. Yeah, we're really excited about all the possibilities for ABC. And we will get together on the OUNCE assessment tool because there will definitely be programs that are taking advantage of infant and toddler, and they will need to get OUNCE training. They will need to learn about the OUNCE side of work sampling. Yep. Okay. Yes, ABC Summer has already been awarded, Shelley. If you applied and you are not sure about ABC Summer, I'm not sure if you've already applied with your program, feel free to reach out to us. You can send me a direct email and we can find out about that. Okay. So does anyone have any additional questions about the grant renewal? I said instructions will be sent to you, so please keep an eye on your inbox. And they're going to be detailed instructions. I think it'll answer most of your questions. If you have anything that comes up, of course, you absolutely can always reach out to us directly. So yes, ABC Summer has already been announced. You should have already received a letter of intent with the information. If you have not, definitely you can send me an email and we can check on that. But that has already been approved and is already on the way.
Kayla,
Yes.
before any home visiting, any hippie program decides to enroll anyone under the age of 2, please, they need to contact me if they're thinking about doing parents as teachers first before they do anything like that. I would really appreciate it.
Yes.
You have to do some things first before they can actually do that, far as enrollment for that age.
Yes, any of the home visiting programs. And Wanda, feel free to send out an email to all of the home visiting programs if you all want to get with them and discuss that. But any of our home visiting providers on this call, please make sure that you are reaching out to the state administrators for home visiting for Hippie and for PAT. Wanda is here on the call. Wanda, will you put your email in the chat box? That way, if anyone doesn't have it, please make sure you're reaching out and working with them. They will need to help you get switched over and get all the information that you need to know what happens under the Parents as Teachers program. I saw a question about a child enrolling them in a 3 and 4-year-old room. So you still have to meet all of the ratios for ABC. That does not change. So today you will receive an email. It is going to go to the authorized representative and the COPA coordinator that's listed in the system currently. So keep an eye out for that email. If you do not, or your program does not receive an email by tomorrow, please reach out to me directly and let me know, just so we make sure, because we should have all of the correct emails on file, but you never know. So I want to make sure everyone gets that information. So please just send me an email if you don't get that by tomorrow.
In years past, the first submission for payment was October 1st. Will that remain the same?
So the payments for ABC, the first payment that you'll
Well, I
receive,
guess I should say our attendance is what I should have said.
yes, so attendance, so that process will stay the same. You'll
so, but
start entering
We'll
attendance
we will
and
have until October 1st to have our spots filled then?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that will not change. You'll still receive your 10% payments until October, and then that's when you'll start doing your enrollment, just as normal.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. And so I just want to encourage everyone to go to our website, pull that program guide if you don't already have it, and just review that. Go through the infant and toddler section, look at those requirements, look at the staffing requirements. We want you to be aware of what is required for an infant and a toddler classroom and the ratios so that you will know what you may have to look at as far as regulations. It may not be something that you want to do. It may not be something that you have staff that would qualify to do. So just make sure that you are looking at that program guide. Kayla, what we need to fill about October. So that the October question was about enrollment and or attendance and your enrollment. So in the next program year, October is when you will start entering your attendance into COPA. Jenny, you are very welcome. We are glad to help, and we know that there is a lot of questions and that it's a big change. So yes, absolutely. Thank you all too for having patience with us as we work through this together. So
Miss Kayla, this is Marguerite.
hi, Marguerite.
I don't know if I explained it right and put it in the chat. So, but I think I sent an email. I was just when I asked about dual, in the past, we used to have at least income had to be one of the qualifiers besides the other ones. That's the question I was asked. Since all qualifiers, since there's no old money, new money, will you need to have at least income to be one of them, or can any of the qualifiers be considered for dual? So they could do low birth weight and single parent.
So we'll take a look at it. Michelle, go ahead. I saw you were about to answer.
Okay. So even with programs that have just old money in the past, it's always been income has to be one of those, and then the additional uh, eligibility criteria can be one of the others. But yes, one of them has to be income.
Thank you.
And
You're
just so
welcome.
everyone knows, that is about dual enrollment. So when we say dual enrollment, that means the child is in a center-based program and they're in a home visiting program getting that wraparound service. So just so everyone's aware. Lots of great questions. So I hope that we were able to answer most of the main questions. Again, we will be putting out an updated guide just so that you have updated information. Other than that, right now, all we need is for you all to begin working on this application in COPA. It's really just an update for your program. Please have those due by May 16th. And we want to just thank you for your patience on getting this open. I know everyone has been waiting. And so we're glad to finally have it open, but we had to make all those changes. And we didn't want you to get into your COPA grant and say, oh, well, why is there not a spot for ABCSS? So Tyra also posted, yes. So Hippie Arkansas is going to issue some guidance on enrollment with Hippie International. So make sure that with our home visiting programs, make sure you're working with the state administrator. And I think Wanda also put her contact in the chat as well. For families that have to pay, the payments are October through May. So Chastity, private pay, that is up to your program, how you work those payments. So ABC, the first payment is July. Yeah. But it's 10%. So if you have specific questions about like private pay and a sliding fee scale or anything like that, just send me an email and we'll take a look and we can get you an answer on that if you're using any kind of sliding fee scale. Nothing else will change. Yep, Sherry. So when you enroll that child, they will stay in the program until kindergarten, which is also really exciting just for that continuity of care. So we hope that this will be beneficial for programs and hopefully we answered your questions. And again, if there's anything else, please reach out. You can send me an email and we can get you some information back. Keep an eye out for guidance and additionally, just make sure that you get all of your information into COPA by May 16th so that you can get those approvals and your notices and everything completed and you won't have to worry about it. Yes, and that's right about ratios. So just keep in mind, I keep reiterating to go back to that program guide and really review ratios and what that would mean for your program, just so that you're aware.
Yes, this is Shirley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you think they're gonna change the disbursement date on the grant as far as dispersing the money into our account? Because I'm having a problem because I have to pay payroll taxes by the 15th or we'll be late. And so for like our money coming in maybe like the 13th, the 14th, the 15th. I think we just got the other one on the 16th. So will that be changing anytime?
So I will let you know if there is any change from our finance department, but that would be a decision that we would have to make with them. But as of right now, there is no change. I will let you know if we do have any change in that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we are going to call it the end of the meeting today. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to any of our team. I'm just going to go back to our contact page so that you have our phone numbers and our email addresses. Please reach out anytime. We are here to help. We want to work through this with you. We are very excited about these changes. I think it's going to be great things for the Arkansas Better Chance program. We think it's going to be a great opportunity for you, especially those of you who may be trying to increase your enrollment and where there's a need for infant and toddler programs. So this is going to be good for our center-based programs, our home visiting programs that want to participate and serve the younger children. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. We will get the recording posted as soon as possible. And I hope that this was helpful today. Miracle's got it right now. If you have any questions, anything, the COPA support mailbox, that's the quickest way to get an answer because our entire team works out of that box. So send that there. And just another reminder, if you have audits, if you have final audits for the last fiscal year and you have sent those to Heather Barrick, please make sure you send those to that COPA support mailbox. Okay, If you have any specific questions, please reach out. Otherwise, I really, again, just want to say, go to that program guide and look through the infant and toddler information, the ratios and staff qualifications. That's going to help you a lot. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for spending your time with us. And if you need anything, we are here to help. Have a good afternoon.